Good morning. Buenos dias. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. Our weekly worship is where we connect, share information, and inspiration. My name is Natalie Sunday. I became a member in April. I'm in the Seekers Forum, the Retired UU Women, and the Justice League, that's not right. The Justice, whatever it is. Our faith is all-inclusive, which means all. We strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our work for justice for our planet and all its people. We recognize that our ancestors came from many different homelands, and we acknowledge that we gather here in the homeland of the Cualtican people, called Yanaguana. They have lived here for 8,000 years, yet still struggle for rights over their sacred heritage sites. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. If you are visiting, we invite you to rise as you are able or wave your hand. So that we can express our appreciation for your presence. I have a few announcements this morning. We've noticed that some of our members experience severe allergic reactions to scented products, which can cause breathing difficulties, headaches, and other symptoms that unfortunately require them to leave during services. To help create an inclusive worship environment where all can gather, we kindly ask everyone to consider using unscented products on Sunday mornings or applying lighter amounts, which can make a significant difference for those with chemical sensitivities. Your thoughtfulness in this matter allows our entire church family to participate fully in worship without health concerns. We are actively searching for 2 types of volunteers to help the community, make the community more welcoming and hospitable. First, we invite you to join our worship setup team, which helps us prepare the chancel and stone ceremony for service. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes before service. Also, we invite you to join our pastoral care team. We need people lovers, that is, persons who enjoy being a good companion to members in need. You don't have to be a trained counselor or caregiver. We'll provide the training, which is mostly about being a good listener. Send an email to the office if this is your jam. Next Sunday, June 8th, we celebrate our annual flower communion. You're invited to bring flowers from your gardens, orchards, or H-E-B. Or come as you are, and we'll have flowers for you. The service will be multi-generational and honor many people who have made this year's RE program successful. All are welcome. On Sunday, June 22nd, there will be no service or programming on campus. Instead, we invite you to watch the UUGA Sunday worship service, which will live stream at 10 a.m. Central Time from Baltimore, Maryland. We will post the links to the service as the date gets closer. The first UU campus will be closed. Each Sunday, we greet one another so that we may know who is journeying with us. Please take this moment to turn to one another and greet your travel companions.
Good morning. I'm Xolani Kacela, he, him pronouns, and welcome to our great Sunday morning service. Our opening words today are from the writer, poet, and philosopher Alan Watts, who wrote, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." I'd like to invite the Lopez family to come forward for our chalice lighting this morning. Remember that resisting change often creates more suffering than accepting and adapting to it. rather than being overwhelmed by forces beyond our control, we can find our rhythm within the chaos and become active participants in shaping how change affects us personally. We have lit our chalice this morning to remind ourselves of our personal resilience. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit as we sing together number 6, Just As Long As I Have Breath.
Please join me. We are called as, no? Are we ready? Okay. We are called as Unitarian Universalists to join the beloved community where all are welcome as blessings. Let's recite our covenant that articulates our promises and binds us together. Please read together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad, y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría en libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas gozan en armonía con divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro.
Well, I learned as a child there's two ways to see the world as it is and the way it could be. Some people say
That's just not my problem.
some people do
What must be done?
they see the
Hole in the fabric that must be sewn.
they see the
They blockade it and they roll back the stone.
they see the day
They beyond the horizon.
and they do.
What must be done?
Yeah, some people do.
Do what must be done.
Well, they
Do what must be done.
they see the day
Beyond
just started and the ripples spread. Some people say that's just not my problem. Some people do what must be done. Well, they see the hole in the fabric that must be sewn. They see the way blockaded and they roll back the stone till they see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done. Yeah, some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. Sometimes the darkness is all we can see. We can't envision what the future will be, but in our hearts is that which can guide us, so we can do what must be done. We see the hole in the fabric that must be sewn. We see the way blockaded and we roll back the stone. We see the day beyond the horizon, and we do what must be done. Join us if you like. Yeah, we can do what must be done. Yeah, we do what must be done. We see the day beyond the horizon, and we do what must be done. Yes, we can do what must be done. Well, we do what must be done. We see the day beyond the horizon, and we do what must be done. We see the day beyond the horizon, and we do what must be done.
Thank you very much, you honest Sirens. That is more than a song, that is a call to action. And we must do what must be done. Let me say that again. We must do what must be done. If you're walking around and waking up feeling tired and exhausted, it's because there's a lot that you're doing and a lot that must continue to be done. So keep up the good work. Every day there's another stone to be rolled back, rolled away. I turn on the news and I hear what is going on. The New York Times keeps me abreast, the Wall Street Journal keeps me abreast, the San Antonio Star-Telegram, and there's a lot of stone rolling these days. So I want to invite you to participate in our stone ceremony, which is kind of the opposite of what we're talking about. This is a chance to unburden yourself with the joys and concerns and issues that may be holding you in a way that makes you feel heavy, carrying the weight of the world, of your family on your shoulders, on your back, within your body. So I invite you to come forward to cast a stone into the bowl. And as you do, I invite you to say a short prayer or reflection on behalf of yourself, your family, your friends, this community, and this world. I invite you to come now. Thank you. We have several entries in our community book of life that I want to read for you. It's hard to believe that it's already June 1st, but it is. The summer is upon us. Katie Evans says she's missing her big brother, Tim, who died of lymphoma. We offer you our condolences. Don't forget to vote in the San Antonio mayor election today, Monday, Tuesday, or Saturday. I tried to vote a couple of days ago and didn't realize or had forgotten that I'm a citizen of Elmendorf, not San Antonio, and the registrar reminded me that it was a non-starter. No vote for me. Happy birthday, June 2nd, to Johnny Stout. Johnny turns 80, and Patty says, come say hello to the guy in the 80 shirt. Thank you for giving us this community. Happy birthday. Happy Pride Month, y'all. Tim B celebrates another trans youth living more fully into their true self with the support of friends and family. Let's make this possible for all queer youth. Rebecca says, I turned 51 this week and am off on a new adventure. Happy birthday, Rebecca. We wish Minerva Sophia Dean a happy 14th turn around the sun. Another birthday. And there's an apology for not having released a limited edition Unitarian Universalist Mountain Dew flavor for you just yet. I guess it's coming. And Ruth and Lito Buhanda Moore write that love is not enough this Pride Month. LGBTQ plus, especially trans folks, are under attack. Many thanks to Jan Rilani, the Social Justice Committee, the Texas UU Justice Ministry, and all others who, among us, continue to fight the good fight. I want to invite you now for a moment of pastoral meditation. Find your center and your breath. Relax and let the weight of the world and your cares roll off your shoulders for just a moment or two. Let's take a deep breath in and out. I have for us a recipe for resilience by Margaret Weiss, who writes, this recipe has been tweaked over time, so adjust as necessary. Sometimes it yields more servings than anticipated. Sometimes it needs a bit more of this ingredient or that. It comes from generations who have gone before me and have added my own flavor along the way. So here is the recipe for resilience. 1 part courage. 2 parts tears of failure and doubt. 1 part deep listening. 1 part each of both silence and laughter. A dash of trust. A pinch of wonder. A heaping scoop of naps and snacks. In a separate bowl, mix together family, friends, and those who challenge you to be your best self. Those with whom you disagree. Add slowly to the larger pot. Add a bay leaf. Well, whatever it is bay leaves do. And let simmer for as long as you need, which is often longer than you realize or anticipate. Keep the heat at an even temperature. Hot enough to cook throughout, but not so hot it burns the bottom. Can be served at room temperature, warm, or even cold if necessary. Serve alongside your favorite soft blanket, dog, cat, or other soft item. make often, share with others. Hold on to the leftovers. You'll need them after a long day that challenges your soul. I'd like to add a special prayer for our beloved Dana Clark, who is recovering from flu and pneumonia. And for all the prayers that remain in our hearts, we say into the silence. We ask this meditation in the name of all persons present and absent, known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, and all helpers of humankind. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.
Okay, it is time for our story today. My name is Tim Versteeg. It is my great pleasure to be the DLRE here. Hi, Zoe. If I can have the young and young at heart come and join me, that would be great. And today we are reading a book called Be You by Peter H. Reynolds, and also drawn by Peter H. Reynolds. This dude does it all. Okay, Zara, come on. All right. Actually, can you help me hold that today? You want to too? Okay. And I'm going to actually read from here because I got the words written on here. You were born to be so many things. My wish for you, no matter where your journey leads, is for you to always be you. Be ready to take that next step towards being an amazing human being. Be curious. Turn every stone, ask every why, and keep digging deeply. Discover your own answers. Be adventurous. Live a big life. When you're ready, step outside your comfort zone. Bravely explore new paths and see where they lead you. Be connected. Find kindred spirits. Be with those who make you feel like the real you. Be persistent. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Keep going.
Never stop.
Thank you. Be different. Be silly. Be quirky. Be odd. Be unique. Be weird. Be colorful. Be okay with being different. Be just the way you are. Be kind. Be understanding. Help those around you to be themselves. Listen. Then listen some more. Learn more about who they are. Be brave. Try new things. Take a deep breath and plunge forward into new experiences. It gets easier every time you try. Be your own thinker. Think for yourself and set your own unique course. It isn't always easy, but you'll be headed in the direction of you. Be okay being alone. Take time to be on your own. Hear your own thoughts, your inner voice. Listen to your heart. Be patient. Being more you takes time. Take a deep breath. Relax. Let your future unfold at its own pace. It will be worth the wait. Be okay reaching out for help. When you need a helping hand, a compassionate ear, and encouraging word, reach out. As you voyage out into the world, remember, no matter what, you will always be loved. You are ready. So go ahead. Be you. Be very, very you. That's the end of our story today. And you guys can go to the playground.
Our reading from today is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I was humbled and excited to be First Lady, but not for 1 second did I think I'd be sliding into some glamorous, easy role. Nobody who has the words first and black attached to them ever would. I stood at the foot of the mountain, knowing I'd need to climb my way into favor. For me, it revived an old internal call and response, one that tracked all the way back to high school, when I'd shown up at Whitney Young and found myself suddenly gripped by doubt. Confidence, I'd learned then, sometimes needs to be called from within. I've repeated the same words to myself many times now, through many climbs. Am I good enough? Yes, I am. The 76 days between election and inauguration felt like a critical time to start setting the tone for the kind of First Lady I wanted to be. After all I'd done to lever myself out of corporate law and into more meaningful, community-minded work, I knew I'd be happiest if I could engage actively and work toward achieving measurable results. I intended to make good on the promises I'd made to the military spouses I'd met while campaigning, to help share their stories and find ways to support them. And then there were my ideas for planting a garden and looking to improve children's health and nutrition on a larger scale. I didn't want to go about any of it casually. I intended to arrive at the White House with a carefully thought-out strategy and a strong team backing me. If I'd learned anything from the ugliness of the campaign, from the myriad ways people had sought to write me off as angry or unbecoming, it was that public judgment sweeps in to fill any void. If you don't get out there and define yourself, you'll be quickly and inaccurately defined by others.
That reading gives me chills. It's making my heart beat pretty fast. I'm going to take a second. Thank you, Natalie, for reading that excerpt from Michelle Obama's book. And I also want to thank Tim for that great story, Be You. I've been trying to be me for a long time. And just recently, I had an experience that kind of helped me become me more deeply and more you. I was representing one of my colleagues as a good officer for a colleague that was leaving their church in a forced, negotiated resignation. And he was a male-presenting person, and they had chrome nails. So I decided I'm going to be in solidarity with this person because I still felt so strongly about it. So the new me has some chrome nails. My wife is still trying to figure this out, but I told her it's just me being more you. Well, hope grows here, and this is for anyone tired of going it alone. I want to begin this morning by saying something that you might find surprising, especially if this is your first time in a Unitarian Universalist congregation. You belong here, right now, exactly as you are. Whether you grew up as a you're becoming or exploring your spirituality for the first time, or someone who's been hurt by organized religion and isn't sure if you ever want to try it again, you belong here. In a world that specializes in telling us that we don't belong, that we're too old or too young, too liberal, too conservative, too religious, or not religious enough, we gather as a community built on a radical idea. Inclusivity isn't just a nice concept or a feel-good slogan. It's a spiritual practice that can literally save lives and transform the world. You can say, okay. And in these times, when political divisions feel like chasms, when economic uncertainty keeps you awake at night, when climate anxiety mingles with social media overwhelm, when the future feels more like a threat than a promise, we need that kind of transformative practice more than ever. So let me tell you what inclusiveness means in practice, especially for those who are newer to UU communities. It doesn't mean we're wishy-washy or that we believe anything goes. It doesn't mean that we avoid difficult conversations or pretend that all perspectives are equally valid. True inclusiveness requires tremendous courage. The courage to create space where people can bring their whole selves, their real questions, their deepest fears and highest hopes. The Reverend Rebecca Parker taught us that inclusion is not the same as assimilation. We're not asking you to become someone else to fit in here. We're asking you to become more fully yourself in a community with others who are doing the same brave work of becoming. This is what makes us different from communities that demand conformity. This is what makes us a refuge for people who've been told they don't belong anywhere else. Michelle Obama said, "We're all in this together and we all belong." The writers Martin Rivers and Bob Goodson, in a recent Wall Street Journal article, affirm Obama's instincts by pointing out that humans have evolved to prefer being around others who we recognize as similar to ourselves. It's a learned behavior called homophily. Homophily, I'll spell it. It's H-O-M-O-P-H-I-L-Y. Here, in this place, it is safe to identify yourself however you identify and challenge us to accept you. And we will surprise you and say, "Welcome, pilgrim." For those of you visiting today, maybe you've been church shopping, trying to find a spiritual home that doesn't require you to check your brain at the door or your identity in the parking lot. Maybe you've been burned by religious communities that claim to love you while trying to change everything about who you are. Maybe you've given up on organized religion entirely, but find yourself longing for something deeper than Netflix or brunch on Sundays. Here's what I want you to know. Your questions are welcome here. Your doubts are sacred. Your anger at injustice is holy here. Your love, however you experience it, whoever you direct it to, is celebrated here. There's a line that in UU churches, we don't only answer your questions, we question your answers. The Reverend Forest Church reminded us that we don't get to choose whether we experience suffering in this life. We only get to choose whether we suffer alone or in community. And right now, too many of us are suffering alone, scrolling through feeds that amplify our worst fears, living in echo chambers that confirm our biases, feeling overwhelmed by problems too big for any individual to solve. Someone here is having a bad day or a terrible week. I'm not here to mute your reality, But I am here to assure you that you are not alone. Keep your head up. But here's what we've learned over decades of building inclusive communities. Resilience isn't something you build in isolation. It's something you cultivate in relationship. When you're part of a community that truly sees you, that celebrates your gifts and supports you through struggles, you become capable of things you never imagined possible. And this is especially true for Gen Z visitors or members who might be here today. You've grown up in a world that's simultaneously more connected and more isolated than any generation before you. You've seen more injustice, experienced more anxiety, and inherited more global crises than seems fair for anyone to carry. And yet, this is why I believe the future is in good hands. You've also shown more compassion, creativity, and commitment to justice than any generation we've witnessed. You don't need us to save you, but we need each other to save the world. And that work starts with radical practice of inclusiveness, the decision to build communities where everyone belongs, where everyone's voice matters, where everyone's liberation is connected. In the current political climate, which is morphing into every sphere of life, we need to claim out loud that we belong, that the world is ours too. He's telling even the MLB, Major League Baseball commissioner, how to run the league, and got Pete Rose reinstated. And then told the NFL commissioner to keep the tush push. And they did it. Then threatened Congress if they didn't back the big, beautiful bill. And they did it. Where are we, the UUs and liberals and progressives, in this post-Biden, Harris, Obama era? You're going to find out in this place, in this community. Let me give you a few specifics about what you'll find if you decide to be a part of this community. You'll find a community where your pronouns are respected and your relationships are celebrated, regardless of who you love. You'll find people who take climate change seriously and are working together on solutions. You'll find conversations about racial justice that go beyond thoughts and prayers to take actual action and accountability. You'll also find people who disagree with each other, sometimes passionately, about politics, theology, and how to create positive change. But you'll find that we've learned how to disagree without demonizing, how to challenge ideas without attacking people, how to hold tension without choosing sides. This isn't always easy. Inclusive communities require emotional labor. That's labor that is often invisible. They require humility. They require a willingness to be wrong, to learn, and to grow. They require showing up even when it's inconvenient, contributing even when the money's tight, speaking up even when your voice shakes. But here's what you get in return. You get to be a part of something bigger than your individual anxieties. You get to channel your outrage into organized action. You get to transform your despair into determined hope. And you'll discover that the antidote to overwhelm isn't disconnection, it's deeper connection with people who share your values and your commitment to making the world more just and loving. The First Lady, former First Lady Michelle Obama, talked about how she planned her arrival at the White House and how she defined her role as First Lady. She didn't leave her resilience and her sense of who she was and would be to chance. She wrote in her book, Becoming, "I didn't want to go about any of it casually. I intended to arrive at the White House with a carefully thought out strategy and a strong team backing me. If I learned anything, it was that public judgment sweeps in to fill any void. If you don't get out there and define yourself, you'll be quickly and inaccurately defined by others." And I want to repeat that. If you don't get out there and define yourself, you will be quickly and inaccurately defined by others. This community swings wide the door of self-definition. You tell us who you are, and we respect you. We don't tell you who you are. In fact, share any identity you feel safe sharing, and we accommodate you. And with that identity, we will put you into work in spiritual practice, because here, there's a lot of work to be done, and we want you to join us. Now, you might be listening and wondering, what do Unitarian Universalists actually believe? Here's the thing. We don't have any creed that everyone must affirm. We have shared values, and love sits at the center. We believe in justice, equity, transformation, changing hearts and minds, and the goal of world community with pluralism, inclusivity, and generosity. And we're committed to the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Most importantly, we believe that hope is not a feeling, it's a practice. It's something we do together, daily, in small acts and large ones. Every time we welcome a newcomer, we practice hope. It happens when we have difficult conversations across differences, and when we show up for justice work, even when we're tired. And this hope isn't naive or passive. It's what Parker called fierce hope. Hope that looks directly into the world's suffering and says, not on my watch, not if I can help, not if we can do something about it together. Undergirding all of this work is one critical factor: courage. In order to take on resilience and be hopeful, you must be brave. There's a story I saw this week about a little kid named Bridger Peabody. Bridger was coming home with his grandmother one night. It was dark, and they were walking from the car to the porch. And his grandmother, who was about 75 or so, tripped on something and fell and hit her head on the concrete step. Blood was going everywhere. She had left her cell phone in the car and couldn't call. They were yelling for help, but no one could hear them. So she said to Bridger, "You've got to go get my cell phone." So Bridger, who is 3 years old, afraid of the dark, forces himself to walk into the pitch black darkness to the car, something he had never opened before. And on his way to the car, he said to himself, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid." He opened that car, found that cell phone, and took it back to his grandmother, and his grandmother is still alive today. I say to you, don't be afraid. You've got to have Bridger-like bravery, and you must be fierce. So I want you to say that with me just to reinforce it. Don't be afraid. Again, don't be afraid. This work takes a lot of courage. So here's my invitation to you, especially those who are visiting or new to our faith, who are visiting, who are curious, as we saw in the story, possibly feeling a stir of possibility in your chest right now. Don't wait. Don't spend weeks or months trying to figure out if you're ready for spiritual community. You're ready now. You're ready exactly as you are. The climate crisis won't wait for you to feel prepared to act. The loneliness epidemic won't pause while you decide if you need community. The forces that profit from division and despair won't slow down while you figure out if you belong somewhere. But hope grows here in communities like this one, through practices like inclusiveness, among people who refuse to give up on the possibility that things can be different. Hope grows when you show up, when you contribute your voice, and when you let yourself be known and supported and challenged. If you're here because you're looking for a spiritual community, you have found it, my friends. Maybe you want to be a part of social change. Welcome home. If you're here because you're tired of feeling alone with your questions and your fears, trust me, you never have to feel alone again. Welcome home. Before I let you go, consider this. The future we're walking into together will be shaped by communities we build today. It will be shaped by how inclusive we choose to be, how resilient we help each other become, how much hope we're willing to nurture together. The world needs what you bring, your passion, questions, unique perspective, and particular gifts. But it needs those things in community, amplified by connection, sustained by relationship, focused on shared purpose. After the service today, we will be ready to welcome you, to answer your questions, to help you find a place in this community. I'll stay down here in the front. I'm going to invite Tim to sit here with me, or maybe our new president, Polly, or any other leaders who want to talk about this faith with people who want to know. If you all have other obligations, I can do it. But please feel free to let us welcome you. There are opportunities to get involved, ways to contribute, chances to discover that belonging here isn't something you have to earn. It's something you can claim right now, today. Hope grows here. Resilience flourishes here. Justice work happens here. Love multiplies here. And you, exactly as you are, with everything you bring, you belong here. Welcome home. Amen. Thank you. It's now time for generosity. I want you to open your hearts, but more importantly, your pocketbooks, and contribute to this community that needs everything that you bring. And if your presence is all you bring, that is enough. I invite our ushers to come forward to receive this morning's offering. We give thanks and praise for all of your contributions that make this beloved community, whether in time, talent, or your treasure. Amen. I invite you now to stand, arise in body and or spirit, as we join together in singing our closing hymn, number 347, Gather the Spirit. I want to thank Natalie again for her great service and the musicians who always bring such joy and life to our services, and to you for being here. Our closing words are from the great writer Viktor Frankl, who wrote, "When we no longer are able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Keep your heads up, your heart open. Go in peace with fierce resilience, hope, and courage. Amen.